In a vast green forest, where the trees reached for the sky like giant arms, lived a little squirrel named Sammy. He was a cheerful, fluffy-tailed fellow, and his favorite time of year was autumn. The crisp air, the colorful leaves, and oh, the nuts. Sammy absolutely loved collecting nuts. It was his mission every year to gather enough to feast on through the long, chilly winter. But Sammy had a tiny little problem. A problem as small as an acorn but as big as the tallest oak tree. Sammy was incredibly forgetful. Every morning, he'd scamper out of his cozy nest, his cheeks puffed full of delicious nuts. He'd find what he thought was the perfect hiding spot, under a mossy rock, inside a hollow log, or beneath the roots of a giant fern. He'd carefully bury his treasure, pat the dirt down with his little paws, and scamper off to find more. But the moment he turned around, poof, he'd completely forget where he had just hidden his precious stash. He'd scratch his head, twitch his nose, and think, now, was it by the red mushroom or the twisty branch? But it was no use. The memory was gone, lost somewhere in his busy little squirrel brain. Days turned into weeks, and the vibrant colors of autumn began to fade. A cold wind started to whisper through the trees, carrying the first delicate snowflakes of winter. Soon, the entire forest was blanketed in a thick, sparkling layer of white. It was beautiful, but for Sammy, it was a disaster. He was cold, and his tummy was rumbling with hunger. It was time to find his nuts. He put on his bravest face and ventured out into the snow. Okay, Sammy, he said to himself. Time to find those nuts. They must be around here somewhere. He dug around the big oak tree where he lived. He poked his nose into snowdrifts. He even climbed up a pine tree and shook its branches, hoping a nut or two might fall down. But he found nothing. Not a single one. The snow had covered all his secret spots, and his forgetfulness meant he had no map in his mind to guide him. Poor Sammy felt his little heart sink. He sat down at the base of a frosted tree, his fluffy tail wrapped around him for warmth, and big teary drops started to roll down his furry cheeks. He had worked so hard, and now he had nothing. The forest was quiet and cold, and he felt very alone and very hungry. Just as a particularly big tear was about to splash onto the snow, he heard a sweet chirpy voice from above. Sammy? Why are you crying? He looked up and saw his good friend, Laila the Bird, perched on a branch just above him. Her feathers were fluffed up against the cold. Oh, Laila, Sammy sobbed. I can't find any of my nuts. I collected so many, but I forgot where I put them all. Now winter is here and I'm so hungry. Laila tilted her little head and looked at him with kind eyes. She remembered seeing Sammy scurrying all over the forest, hiding nuts in the most peculiar places. Don't cry, Sammy, she said gently. I think I can help. I was flying around all autumn, and I saw where you were busy hiding your food. Follow me! A spark of hope ignited in Sammy's heart. He wiped his tears away with his paws and looked up at Laila. Really? You know where they are? I do. She chirped happily. Come on, let's go on an adventure. Laila took off, her wings beating gracefully against the winter air. Sammy, full of new energy, scampered after her, his little feet making tracks in the pristine snow. Laila led him through the quiet forest, past the frozen stream, and around the cluster of berry bushes now covered in ice. Finally, they arrived at a very large, very old tree on the edge of the forest. It was a tree Sammy didn't visit often. Its bark was wrinkly, and its branches were thick and gnarled. Here we are, Laila sang out, landing on one of the lowest branches. You put almost all of them here, Sammy. You must have decided this was the best spot of all. Sammy's eyes went wide. He looked at the base of the tree and saw a small, familiar-looking stone. He started digging excitedly in the snow right next to it, and there it was, the first nut. He dug a little more, and he found another and another and another. It was his entire winter supply, all gathered in one fantastic super-secret spot that he had completely forgotten about. He had made a mountain of nuts. Sammy did a little happy dance in the snow, his heart bursting with joy and relief. He turned to Laila, his cheeks already stuffed with a celebratory nut. Laila, thank you. Thank you so much. You saved me, he said, his voice a little muffled. He swallowed his snack and continued. I learned a really important lesson today. It's not enough just to work hard. I need to be more organized and make a real effort to remember where I put my important things. Laila laughed, a sound like tiny bells ringing in the cold air. That's right, Sammy, she replied. Being organized is the key. It helps you find what you need when you need it. Maybe next year you can put all your nuts in one place and mark it with a special pinnacone. Sammy nodded eagerly. That's a great idea. The great nut tree of Sammy, he declared proudly. He picked up another nut and offered it to Laila. For the best friend a squirrel could ever ask for. From that day on, Sammy became the most organized squirrel in the forest. He learned that having a plan and remembering it was just as important as the work itself. And most importantly, he learned the value of a true friend who is always there to help you find your way, even when you've forgotten it yourself. Thank you so much for watching our story today. We hope you loved Sammy and Laila's adventure. If you did, please give this video a big thumbs up. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you won't miss our next story. See you next time.